Hello, my name is Drew Lyman, and I'm an estate planning attorney in Northern Colorado.
Good evening, folks. My name is Randy Miller. I'm the president of TriStar Retirement, and tonight we want to talk about protecting families with their estate planning and protecting families with retirement planning.
A large part of estate planning involves asset protection, which is protecting everything that you own from creditors, including attorneys or people who would want to sue you, divorcing spouses, and of course, unnecessary taxation from the government.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I see commonly in my practice are families who have significant levels of their retirement invested in 401ks or IRAs. In some cases, they do not know that their beneficiaries will be paying taxes on that money after they're inherited. Mm-hmm. And also that those assets are not protected from creditors.
Really? You mean to tell me that IRAs and 401ks can be collectible upon the death of the person that actually owns the IRA?
That's right. Under a Supreme Court case in 2014 called the Clark case, beneficiaries, kids who receive an inherited IRA or 401k can have that money seized by the creditors of the beneficiaries.
You know, Drew, retirement planning is so important these days. Statistics tell us that over 50% of our population is not even prepared, nor will be, for retirement. It's a scary statistic. And I commend people for doing their due diligence, working for years and years and years, 20, 30, 40 years, to save up in their IRA, in their 401k. You know, IRAs have been around for 30 plus years, and you know, that's all we had at that time. You know, we go to work and they tell us pick a conservative or pick an aggressive plan, and they don't really tell you a whole lot more. Well, most folks say I want the aggressive when they're young. And the older folks say I want a conservative. Why? Because we know it. In the end, we want to build it safely. And that's what we're all about, is building a safe retirement income for our clients when it comes time to retire. And also, it's very, very important to have their whole estate private. We like to keep keep the government out of your back pocket. We have to pay our due diligence and taxes, but there's a lot of ways that we can protect our families and we can be safe.
Randy, you mentioned earlier about privacy in retirement. Can you explain what you meant by that?
Absolutely. As you probably know, Drew, I'm sure that IRAs and 401ks are individual retirement accounts. That's actually a IRS code that they're paying into every year, and it's public knowledge. When you file your tax returns, the government knows about what's going on with you. Well, there are places where you can put your money where it is 100% private. Okay, there's no probate. They outperform traditional IRAs, 401ks. They generate tax-free income. It basically, because it's 100% private, you don't even have to declare it for your Social Security. So it's a pretty powerful plan. It's kind of an alternative to traditional IRAs and 401ks. You know, Drew, it's very IRAs and 401ks were all we had for a while. We work and work and work and work. We're told to build up that nest egg, and it's made to build up a pool of money. And I call it the then what's. You're 65 years old, getting ready to retire. Then what? You got this pool of money. Well, you got to pay taxes on that money. The government knows you got to pay taxes on that money. That's their job. Well, there's strategies where you don't have to pay any tax in your retirement. There's places where you can put your money to where it's 100% private, no probate. You don't have to worry about the government taxing it because it's tax-free.
Randy, what type of plan are you referring to?
Well, Drew, it's a strategic retirement planning strategy that basically is set up in an account where all the money going in is tax-free. It's similar to a Roth, except the difference is, and I like Roths to some degree because I don't like my clients to have to pay taxes because, quite frankly, we don't know where taxes are going, right?
They're going up though, right?
I would bet they were going up. Yeah. So it's nice to have a place where you can put your money in tax deferred and get it out tax free. The beautiful thing, or I should say the differences between, say, a Roth and what our planning strategy provides is no market volatility. You see, with IRAs and 401ks, you're still subject to Wall Street, the Wall Street casino. A lot of my clients back in 2008, for instance, suffered horribly when the stock market crashed and the real estate market crashed. Well, what if I told you that there was a place where you could have your money, there was a strategy where you could work it out to where you never have to worry about market volatility, for instance. Although you can gain an upswing up to a cap, 13, 14%, but when the market takes a dip like in 2008, you don't have to worry about it because your money is safe, it's protected. There's a zero floor, it's called, where you don't lose any money. Your money is safe. That's what I mean about a safety net for your money. Also, it grows tax-free. So when you draw it out, because it's tax-free going in, because there's no market volatility, you generally get about 2 to 3 times the return that you would get with a traditional IRA or 401k.
Another important part of planning that any attorney should be advising their clients about is long-term care, which would be in-home care, assisted living facilities, or long-term care, skilled nursing facilities. The cost of long-term care can be staggering for many people, in fact, almost anyone. An average monthly cost of a skilled nursing facility in the state of Colorado is about $7,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And for in-home nursing care or an assisted living facility, you're looking at about $50,000 to $60,000 a year.
Man, how can people afford that?
What do you tell people who want to protect themselves from long-term care costs?
Well, that's a good question, Drew. There are 2 things that people are most fearful of when it comes to retirement. And we touched on the first one, and that is running out of money. Nobody wants to run out of money. And if you ask anybody on the street, what do you think is the biggest concern? They would say,
running out of money.
Running out of money. However, the second biggest concern, which comes up most often, because we are living longer today, is health issues. The statistics, frightening as they may be, is that say that 1 in 2 males and 1 in 3 females will get cancer before they die. Drew, that means that sitting here, one of us, likelihood, or statistics tells us, are going to get cancer. In our retirement planning strategy, there is actually built into the system that provision for long-term care, for chronic issues like heart attack, like cancer, stroke, the biggies that normally you can't just pay out of pocket for, the things that drain IRAs and 401ks and everything else that we built our whole life for. A heart attack, a cancer can wipe that out in an instant. Well, what if you had a strategy where you could have that money set aside so it wouldn't affect your lifestyle per se? You'll have the money you can grab and you can use to pay your doctor bills, and it doesn't affect your lifestyle. And that's what we can provide and offer for our clients. So you don't have to worry about that being the case. You're not going to have that concern about the health issues. You'll have the money set aside by good strategic planning to have that all set up for you. So long-term care, I used to years ago, back in the turn of the century, 2001. Sounds funny to say turn of the century. Back in 2000, I was actually working with living trusts and selling living trusts, and a lot of clients lost thousands of dollars back in 2001, as you know. And another crash hit. Well, health issues became a real big question because people were having to pay out money out of their IRAs and 401ks, and this strategy came along where we said, hey, we can put folks into a plan and avoid that kind of stuff. So it's pretty amazing.
Randy, exactly what product are you talking about here?
Drew, what I'm talking about is the most amazing strategy on the market today. It's called the Indexed Universal Life. Yes, it's life insurance. Did you know that the wealthiest of the wealthy put their safe money in life insurance? Most people think about life insurance as I'll never see my benefit. But in actuality, if structured correctly, life insurance can provide all the safety, all the guarantees, and all the tax-free benefits that you could possibly get in a retirement plan.
And can these insurance products have provisions in them where they're triggered if there's a long-term healthcare problem?
Absolutely. In fact, as you build up your account in your plan, in your index universal life insurance policy, you not only have the privacy, you not only build it tax-free, it goes in tax-free, you get the benefits of tax-free when it comes out. You also get the health benefits built in. Yes, Drew, there is that provision that's built in every policy. It's a rider that's automatically issued to the client, where that heart attack, cancer, stroke, long-term care is all provided for. Long-term care insurance is very expensive these days, and most people don't even qualify for it. But here you have a provision that's already set aside for you. It's a real major, major benefit. It's the number 2 reason what concerns people today about retirement.
Randy, you mentioned that individuals who invest in IULs are putting their post-tax money into these accounts. Is there an income limit on what people can earn to be able to invest in IULs?
Drew, that's one of the beautiful things about an index universal life or an IUL is that there is no restrictions. You have all kinds of restrictions with IRAs, with 401ks. You're limited. If you make too much money, you can't put it into a certain 401ks, or there's even limitations on Roths. But with an indexed universal life policy, there is no restrictions. You can put in as much as you want. In fact, if you don't want to put in 1 year, you don't have to. Your policy won't lapse. It just grows and grows and grows. In fact, it follows the principle of compounding interest. So the more you want to put in, the more it'll grow for you.
As we've discussed, the estate planning attorney's role is to do everything possible legally to protect the assets of the client and their beneficiaries, and making sure that people at or near retirement are receiving financial advice that works for them.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Here's how we help our clients and actually small businesses as well. In a nutshell, you have your IRA, which basically is tax deferred. Your 401k is tax deferred. That's all great. However, it stops there pretty much until you take time to take the money out and you get taxed. But with the strategy, with the index universal life policy, here's what you have. You have money going in tax-free. You paid your taxes on it, you put it in tax-free. It comes out tax-free. It generates 2 to 3 times the return of traditional IRAs because there's no loss in the market, but you still got the 15, 13, 14% cap on the S&P 500 typically. So you have solid growth, you have privacy, which is what we all appreciate about these types of plans. You have a death benefit. You leave tax-free to your heirs when it comes time to pass away. Not only that, but you have the biggie, the health issue. You have care set up for cancer, stroke, heart attack. You have a death benefit. Liquidity. IRA, you go to take money out, you're going to get taxed. Where this plan, you make a phone call, 48 hours later, you get a check. Pretty amazing. So you have privacy, you have cash flow, you have tax-free income, you have money left to your kids and your grandkids. You have all the benefits of a perfect retirement without the government interference of taking your taxes and the market volatility of the Wall Street casino. All that's taken out of the picture. So if you want to give us a call at TriStar Retirement, our number here is 970-286-2710. We'd be happy to come down and sit with you for an hour, see if you even qualify for our plans, because it's not for everybody. But I'll tell you what, the families and the small businesses that it does work for, it is a tremendous, tremendous plan that will propel you into the retirement that you've been waiting and longing for.
And for estate planning needs, I can be reached at 303-872-7519 or coelderlaw.com.